You're watching San Francisco Rising with Chris Manners. Today's special guest is Marisa Rodriguez.
Hi, I'm Chris Manners and you're watching San Francisco Rising, the show that's about restarting, rebuilding, and reimagining our city. Our guest today is Marisa Rodriguez, the CEO of the Union Square Alliance, and she's here to talk to us about revitalizing our downtown. Marisa, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
So let's just jump right in and talk about some of the creative initiatives you're implementing to encourage people to return to the downtown area and enjoy our local businesses. And then perhaps you could tell us a little about your strategic plan?
Yeah, sure. First I'd like to just acknowledge that we're here in beautiful Union Square in San Francisco. This is the heart of the city, right? This is where people come traditionally to celebrate life's greatest moments, whether it's the holidays, whether it's buying your prom dress, whether you're getting married. You always kind of think about Union Square as a place to celebrate life. And so we want to continue in that tradition and remind everyone, especially post-pandemic, that this is a great place to continue to celebrate life. So we are really trying to put out a lot of activities, ideas, being creative around getting people outdoors, because we're still kind of coming out of the pandemic, but then also just enjoying what we have to offer. So when you think of Union Square, hopefully you're thinking about the beautiful hotels that we have here. It's a historic district, that we have a world-class shopping destination here. We have the theater here, great restaurants and nightlife offerings. And so right now we're looking at that. We're using our strategic plan and this opportunity as we emerge from the pandemic to think about, what do people want today? There was a time when, maybe you just went to the theater and that was fine, or you just went shopping. Now people want a little of everything and they want an experience, and we want to be able to provide that. So one of our newest initiatives is called Union Square in Bloom. If you come down to the square, you're going to see blooms cascading from hotel awnings. You're going to see blooms on historic building fronts. You're going to see them on bus stops. They're all over, and it's just a beautiful experience. But you're also going to be able to taste bloom. You can go to many of our restaurants and they have bloomed cocktails, they have bloomed food, and of course, being synonymous with fashion here in Union Square, we have our very first couture bloom gown, which is actually right behind me. So a number of ways to celebrate bloom through the year. We kick off with Mother's Day and then have a celebration through Pride, and then end sort of at the fall, right before the holidays, which is another great time of year for Union Square, where we kick off our holiday celebrations. We have Macy's Great Tree. The SPCA brings out the animals in Macy's window. We have the ice skating, and this year we will have Winter Walk again. Music is another great way to come down and enjoy Union Square. We are recipients of SF Live, the latest grant from OEWD, and Rec and Park, that brings music and music venues basically into our public parks and spaces. And so during the pandemic, a lot of venues were hit pretty hard. And so this is an opportunity for them to bring their acts outside, and they're doing it here in Union Square over the next 2 years. So we're very excited come spring and summer to have more public music in our park, to really showcase Union Square Plaza as a real world-class destination when it comes to music.
So now, in spite of the negative national media coverage about our city, why do you think the narrative has been ignoring the fact that problems in financial districts are pretty commonplace across the country, and this is actually an opportunity to transform our urban spaces?
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I think this is a really unique opportunity for us to reset and reimagine. But hey, what if we were to make our shopping center actually a complete neighborhood, have residential here, we have 13,000 hotel rooms. What if we had a school, or maybe even a soccer stadium, right? Like, we can do a whole lot of things now that we really couldn't do before, because our vacancy rate prior to the pandemic was under 10%, way under 10%. It's a little higher now, and there are more opportunities. We have some of our classic old school businesses like Foley's and Sam's Cable Car Bar. There's just a lot of history here, but there's a lot of innovation here as well. And so we want to be ready for all those opportunities. Maybe this is where some office spaces are going to come. We're seeing office leases here in Union Square, because you know what? The cable car runs through it. We've got all these great offerings. Why not come to work in such a vibrant and exciting place?
Yeah. So now, a lot of the small businesses in this district have been remarkably resilient throughout the pandemic. Can you share a few success stories with us, and talk about how the Union Square Alliance has been supporting them?
Absolutely. In fact, this kind of aligned with what I just talked about being a historic neighborhood, right? This district has seen everything from the Great Depression on. In fact, even the earthquake of 1906. So we have businesses that have been around hundreds of years, like John's Grill. They're celebrating their 115th birthday, and they're going to do that by closing the street and having a concert open to the public in October. Britex, another one, 80 years. Their signage is still on their Gary Street location. They're not gone. They're just down the street on Post. A beautiful store where people go to find the finest in fabrics and other things and unique offerings. And then some of our newer businesses, and by newer, over the last 20 or 30 years, right? All of our art galleries, CK Contemporary just here on Powell Street. A lot of our luxury retailers are expanding their footprint and wanting larger spaces because they can't keep up with demand. And, really hope that these stories get told in this narrative, because that's what's really being missed.
We were talking about how this particular area has a really rich history. How do you see this transforming to build new inclusive spaces, then a stronger sense of community?
Yeah, I would have to say these challenging times have really brought the community together. And we had a really unique opportunity here because we were actually due for a strategic plan, an opportunity to just look at the district and assess where we might need something, where it may be a little less. Turns out we need a little bit more of everything, which is fine. And what we did was we broke it down into different categories. We looked at economic development. How are we going to support tenant attraction? And just the changeover in offerings that we were seeing in the district as people were just accessing, nightlife or food or even shopping differently coming out of the pandemic. And then we wanted to look at marketing and what it meant to actually get the news out about all the great things that we were doing in the district. We were also looking at our own organization as well, and just what we would need in capacity building to get that out there. And of course, always clean and safe. How are we going to continue to provide the support that this community needed to feel safe and secure, especially for our visitors, our locals in particular? We wanted to see our locals reclaim their square, Union Square. Now, you can go shopping anywhere in the Bay Area, but let me tell you, every one of those places is going to look just like every other one of those places. So if you're in Corte Madera, you might as well be in Palo Alto. But in San Francisco, you are somewhere special. This is a very unique place. We just needed to get it right as far as clean and safe. And so we've done that work. That was part of our strategic plan. And we continue to support our district, continue to see different ways that we can make it easier to do business here, easier to be creative and innovative. We were able to change the code, the planning code, to make it more flexible to do business here. We are the C3R, which means a requirement of 3 floors of retail if you want to do business here. And that's really challenging for many people, right? Maybe today we don't need 3 levels. Maybe we just need 1 level and maybe an office upstairs or storage upstairs. You can do that now. Maybe instead of too much retail, maybe we need a school or something else, a museum, some other offerings. So very exciting times. We're seeing some really interesting people and ideas coming our way. And so we're excited on executing on that.
That's great.
Yeah.
So I guess, finally, what message do you have for San Francisco residents and visitors, and how would you encourage them to be part of this?
Well, look, the cable car runs through it. This is the gateway of San Francisco, the heart of the city. And it only thrives and is alive when people come to visit. Right now, we are really blessed to see so many tourists that still love our great city, because what's not to love, right? And what we want to see are our locals to come back down. San Franciscans and Bay Area residents, come shop here, walk around, have a coffee, enjoy the plaza, listen to music on the weekend, shop in any of our many shops, go to a hotel bar. We have so much to offer here in Union Square. So with that, I would just say, please come down, support these businesses. In fact, we have a number of businesses that are betting on Union Square. In fact, Corzetti just opened here in the square at the Hotel G. The owner is Adriano Paganini. He comes to us from back of house is the name of the organization. They bring us Amano, Flores, De La Rosa, and Super Duper. And now this wonderful restaurant, an Italian restaurant, seafood. Incredible pastas that you can't find anywhere else. They're here in Union Square. We're gonna have Choto Mat, a very special Peruvian Japanese fusion restaurant on the top of the Old Men's Macy's. They've created a jewel box on the roof. There'll be a terrace. It'll be beautiful, probably one of the largest restaurants in San Francisco. Here, it's a London-based business, and they're betting on Union Square. We have a great bar scene popping up and around with Harlan Records and the Speakeasy underneath Bodega and PCH and Hawthorne. I could just keep going. School. I mean, this is really the place to come down and enjoy. Come, don't forget, Union Square is the place to be. And certainly in the years to come, as we get through a very difficult time, of course, for any major city, we're all dealing with some of the same things. Come back downtown, explore and support our businesses here. We will continue to thrive. Come on down. You'll be wildly also surprised at how beautiful it is, especially since we're still blooming.
That's great. Well, thank you, Marisa, for coming on the show. It's great to hear your optimistic outlook and your innovative ideas as to how to restore this part of town. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, and thank you for taking a little time to showcase our heart of San Francisco.
Thanks again.
Thank you.
And that's it for this episode. We'll be back with another one shortly. For SFGovTV, I'm Chris Manners. Thanks for watching.